We are live. So this is what everyone wanted. Everyone's been asking me to do a PM night stream for a while now because a lot of my live streams I do during the day. So all of you who have been asking for it, I hope you're all happy. So today, obviously, I want to kind of talk about this big lie I feel like that's been perpetrated all across the hobby and really just the market in general. And it's this lie, right? That things aren't going very well, that the market's down and the sales are stumbling and people are losing interest. And, because of the economy, real life is getting in the way. So people don't have the same amount of money to devote to Pokemon and all this crazy BS. And I'm sitting here today packing up 20 orders that I got over the weekend from TCG Player and eBay, whether it be for, PSA cards, whether it be 10s or 9s, singles, whether it be for cards that are, under $10, 30, 40, 50 as PSA cards, up to, 400, up to like in the multiple thousands. I sold some first edition base cards. And I'm looking around at all this. I'm thinking, I am such a little small fish. And I'm getting these kind of orders. I'm getting this amount of money spent. I'm getting thousands of dollars spent over a weekend on Pokemon cards. And then I start looking around and I look at, what else has been selling. And then I decided to do some research. And I was going to put out a video on this, but I decided, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and wait until tonight. And we're going to do a live stream on it because it's going to take longer than a 10-minute video would do justice. And so I started looking into a lot of different data. And you guys know me. I don't just throw my opinion around. I don't just make stuff up and, tell you how I feel about it. I always show things to back up what I say. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys right for your own faces the exact data to prove everything is actually going so much better than everyone out there saying. They're all lying to you. Everyone who says things aren't going well, they're lying. They're just 100% flat out lying to you. And I'm going to prove it right now. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. For those of you who don't know, this is eBay's research tool. It tells you exactly how many are selling for whatever kind of metrics you want to set. So I typed in Pokemon, and I thought we'd see how it was doing in the same last 30-day period last year in 2022. And as you can see here, the average item sold price was about $36.48. There were almost 600,000 items sold, okay? And it was a total of $21.8 million. You're saying, wow, that sounds like it's great. So we got to do less now because the market's so bad now, right? No, wrong. Here's 2023, the same last 30 days. Average sale price of $40.12. So now each item is going almost $4 more than it was before. So people are spending more per item. 614 plus thousand items sold compared to not even 600,000 items sold, and $24.6 million total dollars in the last 30 days on Pokemon compared to only $21.8 million in the same time period last year. And then you're going to say, well, Alex, that's just Pokemon in general. What about just the cards? No problem. Got you covered. So just judging from Pokemon cards sales on eBay last year, average sale price of $27.42. 292,000 total sold with a total dollar amount of $8 million. This year, Pokemon cards, same last 30 days. $35 average sale compared to 27. 326,000 items sold compared to just 292, and 11.6 million compared to 8. Folks, 11. Do you realize how huge of a rise that is? 8 million? I mean, you're talking 10, 20, 30, like, what was that, 40? Over 40% increase in the total items sold in 1 year in the same 30-day time period. Let's look at the whole, the year to date, right? So last year, January 1st until now, November 13th, we were at 214 million in sales in Pokemon. This year, we're at 249. It's not even close. Same exact time period. Everything's doing terrible. The whole market is in a turmoil. Everyone's in mass panic. People are panic selling. Nobody's buying. Well, guess what? All those items are getting bought by someone. Who's buying them? Here's Google Trends. This tells you how many people are still searching for Pokemon cards all throughout the interwebs. Here's what it was like, back in the 2000s, 2018, 19, all that. Here's the boom. Here's the big boom, right? Most search results ever. But look, everything's calmed down. This is way after the boom, years later. We're still having more search results than any other time in the last 5 years besides the boom. If I go back as long as Google will let me, all the way to 2004, you're going to see the only other time in history where we had this many people still searching for Pokemon was the Evolutions and Pokemon Go boom back in 2016. That's it. That's it. This is how strong the market's still doing. This is how many people are still actively searching for Pokemon all throughout the internet daily. Daily. Look at this. Sword and Shield base. I know people are talking like this isn't doing well lately. Look at this. One just sold. Okay. $295 confirmed sale, 11/11, a couple days ago. It's basically a $300 box now. Just sold. Go down here, see what the lowest listed, $295. There's one lower, but it's a 0% feedback, one sale to the account, brand new account. Of course, it's going to be lower. Realistically, this is a $295 box now. Rebel Clash, same thing. Look at this. These are both loose booster pack sales. Last sale, $240. $240 box. Market price, $250 now. Remember people were saying Evolving Skies, it's fizzling out or whatever, Boombrion's crashing. Evolving Skies is doing just fine. What are people talking about? Lowest box in the market's $435.98. One just sold. These are all loose packs. One just sold for $440. No, two did. Two just sold for $440 in the 11th. $440. That's pretty much the highest it's been to. Fusion Strike Fusion Strike's seeing an enormous upturn lately. Here's the year chart, but it's still going up. It's still getting sales, daily sales. Lowest Fusion Strike box in the market now is over $150. Down to $145 now. New listings came up since I looked. Another thing, everything's crashing, right? What about Silver Tempest, right? Boxes are down, the singles are down, everything's got to crash, right? Well, here's Lugia, just sold November 13th, today. $299 plus 5 shipping for the PSA 10. Here is back in August. $302.80 plus 5 shipping for the PSA 10. $325 plus 10. That's the big crash we've seen in the graded cards. Barely any. Giratina from Lost Origin. Everything's crashing, right? $600, $625. Go back in August. $610, $670. About the same, depending on which auction you go with. Guys, I know it's easy to listen to the negativity. It's fun. It's easy to watch people get on here and show charts trending down and show singles trending down and show some poor sales and talk about their opinions on what's going on. These are the facts. I don't know what else to say. This is the truth. This is the exposed thumbnail I'm talking about. Google Trends data shows more people are still searching for Pokemon than ever before besides the boom. If you look at all the sales data, Pokemon cards, whatever you want to put in that sales data metric software, we're selling enormously more now this year than last year in any of the same time intervals. Even though singles are going down, the PSA high grades are still holding up. Even though the pop reports are so astronomical, there's too many, no one's going to want them. Do you see how all the narrative, all the rhetoric just falls apart little by little? Like you see how all those arguments are like built on a glass house you can just shatter because they don't stand up to any of the facts. This is the facts. And the reason that got me thinking about this is just all the sales I've been getting recently. I mean, I'll list things on TCG Player, and literally by the time I'm listing cards, I'm getting notifications. Item sold, item sold, item sold. I mean, I have my eBay listing set to be listed every day, 5 a day. And like, I'll forget it's time for them to get listed. And all of a sudden I'll have a sale on an item I didn't know was listed yet because it got sold so fast. I mean, I showed you that my PSA video. I had a stack of those Venusaur PSA 10s from Celebrations. They're almost all gone. Boom, sold, 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 sold. I don't know what people are talking about. Am I missing something? If I'm missing something, someone in the chat just tell me what I'm missing, because I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm trying. I can't figure it out. Oh, what are you guys doing tonight? What's going on, everyone? Everyone told me to have a night stream, but I don't see near as many of you here as I do during the day, which is kind of odd with how much I told to do streams at night. King Charizard, chilling rain to the moon. Charles said, great new studio. Yeah, so we're still in the process. We got the walls up and the shelf, and I just threw the games up there just for something for a background for today's video. But yeah, it's getting there. It is getting there. It's a work in progress. Yeah, new setup. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Possum Bud sucks. He just likes to get on camera and act like a tough guy because he's probably not a tough guy in real life. It's okay. Alex, have you seen Coffee Talks with DJ Gigabyte about the pre-release Raichu? Something you need to watch. Seems you're not the only one exposing the cabal. Seriously, watch it. I did see it. I didn't watch it, but yeah, I will make a point to watch it. What happened, Gengar? What were they talking about? What was the topic? I mean, I know the pre-release Raichu, but what were they saying about it? Good evening, Alex. Good vibes to everyone. Absolutely. So the cabal wasn't real. Still love your content though. The cabal is real. What do you mean they weren't real? What's that about, Restock Shock? That's absolutely not true. You see it happening. You see it happening real time. Let's see. David Persons exposes the cabal. I mean, if David has just about as much knowledge as anyone else in this whole hobby, so I'd really be interested in what he had to say about the whole deal. PK made a video, not even his fan, but he made a valid proof video. Valid proof on what? E4 banned. Oh, the E4 video. Yeah, so if you can see, that's Nostalgianomics account, and you'll see there's like, what, 20 posts in that whole account? That's another account after other of my accounts had already been banned. I've been banned on E4 multiple times. Banned my IP address, so I made an account at one of my friend's house and my parents' house. I had different accounts, and yeah, I mean, eventually after that account got banned, that was the last straw. That's when I created the channel. But no, that's just one account, guys. Yeah, Trout had it. Yeah, I mean, I've had other accounts in E4. Like, I didn't just join E4 whenever that Nostalgianomics account was created. I don't even know when that one was created. What did the timestamp? I didn't watch the video. I didn't watch it, so I forget, and I can't see it. Only they can, which it's really weird, right? Only they can. Just saying. Which booster box do you think has the most percent upside in the short term and or long term? Most percent upside in the short term and the long term. I would say, I really don't know. You know, it depends on how fast those reprints of Lost Origin, kick back. Lost Origin and Silver Tempest kick back. Astral Radiance had a big upturn. Now it's back in the 120s. And then Fusion Strike, Chilling Rain still hovering around 150s. I mean, I think Fusion Strike and Chilling Rain are going to be the first two booster boxes in that era to hit $200 after, obviously Evolving Skies, Rebel Clash, and Sword and Shield base. So I would say Fusion Strike or Chilling Rain. Those are my two picks. Guys, look, I'm just going to address it right now. I know a lot of people in the chat talking about the PK drama. I'm not going to address any of that stuff. I'm not getting wrapped up in that whole, drama-filled mess. Look, the whole internet can go talk trash about me. Really doesn't bother me. I know people think it bothers me when I make videos showing the other people talking trash. I'm showing that not to whine. I'm showing that to show you what's real, what's actually happening. I mean, if you release one video talking negatively about one of the people in the clique, in the cabal, whatever you want to call it, like hellfire rains down on you from every single creator, every single person in the community. It's fun to like do those little experiments though, just to see it happen so that everyone else can see what I've always seen. It's a very tight-knit club. And if you talk bad or you expose or you call out anyone for being wrong on anything, all bets are off. You're going to get attacked. I'm just happy it's me because I can take it. I'm glad it's not happening to any of you. I really think people just see corrections in the overvalued parts of the market and then yell everything is crashing because interest went elsewhere in the hobby. It's very circular. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what's happening. So people are seeing crashes in singles, especially for all the brand new Scarlet and Violet era sets, especially for the reprint sets. And they're making a broad assumption that like that's the market. I mean, we can go back if you want me to. I can show you XY sets, Sun and Moon sets. All are doing fantastic. Literally, so here's the thing. Like, I could show you I wanted to show. So here's the deal. I wanted to show you the purchase orders on those the 2 first edition base set cards I sold. I sold the Gyarados and Magneton. The Gyarados and the Magneton. And I went and looked for them on eBay. Unfortunately, those were 2 deals that I did work on Instagram. So I don't really want to show the guy's Instagram but anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it. You don't have to. I'm not trying to brag, but it just goes to show a little more of the market. I paid $910 for that first edition Gyarados, and I paid $660 for the first edition Magneton, literally like just over a year ago. Just over a year ago, I bought those cards already graded in PSA 9s, right? So held them for just over a year, just sold the Gyarados for $1,700, just sold the Magneton for, I believe, $900. So, I mean, the Gyarados, you're talking like I literally almost like 90% of my money in a year. It's crazy. Like even vintage first edition base is moving. Tons of these, modern boxes, XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, all moving up, all seeing sales daily, right? We're seeing a lot of the PSA 10 cards hold their value, move up. The Gengar VMAX card that I showed in my video, that sold almost immediately after I listed it. I mean, I'm seeing multiple hundreds of dollars cards in slabs sell, seeing tons of singles sell. I mean, everything just seems strong to me. All the data I have for myself is strong. All the data I can find online is strong. I don't know where everyone else is looking. Obviously, they're looking at different things than I am, but I don't know. Maybe it depends on what niche in the market you are. Maybe it's different for different languages. I mean, I'm all pretty much English. I don't know. I really don't know what the deal is. People lie, numbers don't. That's where I'm at. That's why I had to pull all this up and just almost for myself. Even if I didn't make this live, just for myself to know I'm not going crazy because I don't want to be that guy who's like overly positive and optimistic all the time and like the world's burning around him. But then I put on this front that everything's fine. Guys, everything's fine. I mean, if it wasn't, I swear to you, I'd tell you the truth. I don't see any reason to panic. What's better to sell on TCG Player or over eBay? Okay, so this is a great question. All right, for anyone who's selling. So you saw a huge lot I bought. It was like 12. It was like how many cards? I forgot how many cards. It was hundreds of cards. And what I do is I sort all the cards out, sort them by near mint, light play, played, whatever it is. And I literally take the time to go through and I'll check eBay and TCG Player. Some cards sell more in TCG Player. Some cards sell more on eBay. I will say, at least in my experience, singles move 10 times faster on TCG Player. I think it's because it's so much easier to search for them. It's so much easier to find the card in the condition you want. Whereas eBay, most people never put the condition in their title. You got to click on every listing and look at the pictures. TCG Player doesn't have, you can put pictures, but no one does. You don't have to worry about pictures or anything. It's lightning fast to list. Like 100 million times faster to list an item. And so if the price is even close, if not more, I always try to use TCG Player for singles. If the price is just too much more, if it's like, multiple dollars more, like a lot more, then I will take the time and put it on eBay because it just makes sense. Or if I see an item a lot more liquid moving faster on eBay compared to TCG Player. Otherwise, I do try to use TCG Player for singles. It just makes sense. And again, haven't really had any issues. I had one. So listen to this. You're going to love this. I've been on eBay I just looked. It's been 12 years. I've had an eBay account for 12 years. So 1,000+ items over those 12 years, right? I've never had one neutral or negative review on my account ever. Same goes for TCG Player. I haven't been selling as long, but never had one negative review. I finally got my first negative review ever, and you're going to love this. The guy didn't even message me to add. It was like a few dollar card. I would have just said, keep it. Here, I'll refund you all your money. He was upset that I sold him a light play card, and it wasn't, and he thought it was moderately played. Bro, like, I'll let you keep the card for free. Just message me and tell me you have a problem. So yeah, so other than that one thing, I have never had a problem with TCG Player. About like shipping. Yeah, you don't have the track shipping like you do on eBay, so that's a downside. Over the hundreds of items I've sold on TCG Player, I think I've had one card lost in the mail over the whole time, and it was a few dollar card. Anything over 20, I usually ship with tracking anyway. So yeah, I like TCG Player. I do. But like eBay, there's definitely a place for eBay as well. You guys are crazy. Nowhere near pandemic numbers, just slightly better than pandemic numbers. David Persons calls out SM Pratt and others on the video. Oh, I gotta watch it now. Oh, that's gonna be great. Well, that's so weird because I thought SM Pratt Scott was friends with DJ Gigabyte and all them. That's very interesting. I can't wait to see that now, Gengar. Thanks. And here's the thing. It's like, here's the problem with this community, right? You cannot give anyone constructive criticism. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't talk with anything that could be perceived as negative, or you get called like, every name in the book. You get everyone jumping down your throat, and it becomes a big mess. And so it's going to be interesting to see some of the bigger names start to become critical of what's happened in the past, the same things I've been critical of, and see if they get that same treatment, or see if people start. And look, I don't even care. I don't care if I get credit for it. I'm just happy other people now are speaking out against other people, and more things are coming to light. That's all I want in this community. That's all I've ever wanted. I want more things to be in the light. I don't want things to be done behind closed doors. I don't want everything to be secretive and everything to be all these private transactions, and no one to be afraid to speak their mind because this guy knows that guy and this guy likes him and he's friends with him and it might get back to her. It's completely ridiculous. Why can't we call things out when we see them, right? Why can't we all give our own point of view? Like, it's very obvious that content creators, right, influencers, you have some reason, right, to talk positively if you have a large position in something. I mean, it just makes sense. Like, so anytime I'm critical of SM Pratt Scott, why would I not like Scott? I don't dislike the guy. I don't hate the guy. I'm sure he'd be friends. I mean, I know he plays hockey. I probably played hockey against him back in the day because he grew up in Edwardsville, and I played, because I'm in St. Louis, like we're near the river. We played a lot of Illinois teams, a lot of people from Edwardsville. On spring teams and summer teams, I actually played with some guys that lived in Edwardsville. So honestly, I played with guys that know Scott. I played against Scott, depending on what level he played at. And so, like, I mean, I'd probably be friends with Scott. That doesn't take away from the fact of me saying, hey, he probably did knowingly talk overly positive and favorably on a lot of the things he owned, like the trophies, like the real low pop, anything he owned, to artificially raise the markets, and then sold off a lot of his stuff when the markets had pumped. Like, is that a crazy thing to say? Is that just like so mean and negative? I mean, I don't think it is. It's just, I mean, if you guys all saw me, some of my biggest, like when I had celebrations, if you saw me get on here pumping celebrations every day, sitting on this mountain of UPCs, and then once UPCs hit like 400, me dump all of them, what would you think, right? I mean, it'd be obvious. That's all I got to say about that. I will watch that video though, Gengar. Don't you guys love this? Me just popping off and just, I'm sure someone will find something in this video. They didn't like what I said. I'm sure it'll create drama. People will talk about it. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I can't worry about every little thing I say. It's crazy. So, Alex, I just want to know how they gatekeep Modern sealed, because they said in E4 where you block solely due to spam posting about Leonhardt Museum being a scam. Nothing about your take on Modern. So yeah, that was just the Nostalgianomics account that I made after other accounts were banned. Do you think Lost Origin and Silver Tempest boxes hit a bottom a few weeks ago, or will we see Black Friday deals? Guys, I don't know why everyone's like thinking Black Friday is going to be this huge deal. Maybe TikTok Shop will have some crazy deals, but usually they have limited quantities. You can only like buy one or use the coupon on one thing. So, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people are going to blow out booster boxes. A lot of the Black Friday stuff are like specialty items. They put it like they have like at Walmart or Targets, or just certain items. Like I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it's a lot of the time like booster boxes get blown out. They could. And as we get closer to the end of the year, companies might want to get the positions off their books. They may, try to dump some. So I don't know. It's impossible to call the bottom. I think this long after the reprint, though, it's bottomed enough where you could probably get into those things comfortably, knowing they're probably not going to tank, even if they do drop a little more. That's what I would say about that. I FOMO. Invested in Japanese 151. I think the value will skyrocket over time. It definitely could. It definitely could. I invested super heavy in Vivid Voltage because I love Pikachu. I feel not investing in Fusion Strike instead will bite me. Yeah. Vivid Voltage has struggling a little bit lately. I think what's hurting Vivid Voltage in those earlier sets are just no alt arts. You're really kind of hoping for that Pikachu VMAX to really carry that set, kind of. That girl. Alex didn't even talk bad about anyone. They're the ones talking. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't want to create drama. Maybe I speak my mind too much and I, pop off and just like speak freely too much. Maybe I should hold my tongue and try to, censor myself a little bit. That's just not how I am. It's not how I work. It's not how I operate. And so if that gets me into trouble, so be it. I'm not intentionally going after anyone though. Please explain. All right, Restock Shock, man. This is the last question I'm going to take from you. I'm not dodging you, but like every one of your questions has been about like PK or Cabal. Like I don't want the stream to be like all about that stuff. So I'll take one more from you though, bro. Please explain what the Cabal is exactly. Knowledge would be appreciated on it. I'm aware they're a tight, small group, but from what they claim, they don't gatekeep Modern. They claim to be vintage. They don't gatekeep Modern. They claim to be vintage. They don't gatekeep Modern. My point, no. Okay. My gripe has always been there was a large portion of this community, and this has gone away a lot lately, that just trashed Modern, right? They talked about it as, and I'm not going to say I'm not mentioning names anymore, but a lot of people talked about it as like the gateway, like that this is what, you find the hobby with, but anyone who gets serious about it and wants to actually invest and actually become like serious about Pokemon investing, then you find your way back to vintage and mid-era and the low pop and the older rare or mint or better and that stuff. Like you can't, the real investors aren't investing in Modern, right? This stuff isn't investable. That was always that. I'm telling you, if you were on YouTube or on this hobby forums and 2, 3, 4 years ago, that was what was being said. I'm just going to tell you right now. You can go back, find threads. That was what was being said. So no one gatekeeps Modern. It's just the gatekeeping is pushing vintage, where vintage is scarce, so not everyone can find it. It's a lot of times a lot more expensive, a lot of items that are talked about. So it's like, okay, so I can't afford this item. A lot of people say, well, 6s, 7s, and 8s aren't investable. Even some people say 9s aren't investable. So I can't get lower grades because they're not a good source of investment. I can't afford the 10. So what do I do? Right? That's like a gatekeeping. Like, oh, well, this is what these are the best investments. Well, those are thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. I can't afford those. Well, I mean, you got to save up or, try and flip and build up a position. It's like, no, you can invest in Modern sealed. You can invest in Modern cards. You can do just as well, if not better. That's what I've always said. Who is the Cabal exactly? Look, I'm not getting into all this. The Cabal, right? Well, I always talk about that. This is the last time I'm addressing it. You don't have to call it that. You can call it the clique in this hobby. There is a large group of people. They have Discords together. They have text chains together. Obviously they talk on the phone, whatever, right? And they share similar views. And They make similar plays. They have similar positions. And whenever you speak out against one of those plays, positions, or views, you get attacked by a large swarm of people. And it's very obvious when you see not a person being attacked, but an idea or a concept being attacked. And then when you get attacked personally because of your disagreeing with that concept, that's when you can see something's wrong. Something's wrong with it. And so that's all I want to say about that. That's as far as I'm going to get into it. I'm not talking about that stuff anymore. Okay. What's your favorite game on the ones behind you? Favorite game? Crystal. Got to stick with Crystal. Crystal, Gold, Silver, man, those just hit different. Got to stick with Crystal version. You know, at the end, you get to go through all the old gyms too from Gen 1. You get to go try and track down all the legendary dogs, legendary beasts, whatever you want to call it. I mean, Crystal's a great game. How do you feel about graded video games? You got some awesome Pokemon games there. Yeah, none of them are graded. I just do complete in box just because I like the art and I like to be able to open it up and still play the games. I know the video game market's taken a beating lately, so there could be some opportunity there. Also, guys, there's actually some plays in grading modern games. You know, if you can go get them off the shelf, and you can have Walmart or Target open the case up for you and let you go through the ones and try to pick out the real perfect sealed ones. You know, Pokemon games, Mario games, things like that. When they get graded high, you can flip them on the market and make a pretty penny on that whole game. So yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. As far as like long-term value on the new stuff, I have no clue. On the old stuff, you know, just like anything. I mean, it could, as long as there's enough interest there. I just don't pay enough attention, so I don't know what kind of liquidity those have. Cosmic Eclipse booster boxes over 1,100 on Amazon. I think they're still a little cheaper on the TCG Player and eBay, but that's crazy. It's good to see though. Continue to move up. Let's see. I'm late on comic booster box. Will eventually cop too. Cosmic, yeah, Cosmic. Violet Wood Squirrel. I love the name. Made it to the live. Alex, drop the Easter eggs. Let's talk about the second half of Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. I mean, I know the Shining set's coming up. I don't have any inside info. Wish I did. Alex been starting to threading the bulk grind. Now it's made enough to pay for my PSA membership to start grading. Nice. Good to hear. Yeah, the bulk grind is real. Ultra Modern Goals 1. More Hidden Fates UPC. 2 Hidden Fates ETBs. 2 Cosmic Eclipse booster boxes. Got pretty much everything from Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. Those are some awesome goals there, man. Keep it up. Nah, a seller on TCG Player tried scamming me, sent me a moderately played Umbreon V Altar, paid for LP. I love it. Honestly, I don't even list MP. I don't even know what that means. I don't know the difference between LP, MP, and played. So what I do now, what I've always done, if it's not near mint, like if it's just a little stuff, I'll put it as light play. If it's anything worse than light play, I put it on played. I don't even mess with MP. I don't know how to tell the difference in those three. And I feel like people can always argue it. So if it's just a little bit beyond, near mint, if it's probably like a 7, like a PSA 7 or 6 condition, I'll put it as light play. And then anything worse than that, I just throw it played and I just don't worry about it. Coffee Talks on DJ Gigabyte's YouTube channel, the one on the pre-release Raichu. So that's the video if anyone wants to watch that with David Persons talking about the pre-release Raichu. The deals on TikTok Shop are almost done. They are no longer do new customer deals. I spent $2K with TikTok, bought 11 ETB cases, haven't received anything, should get it all hopefully sometime this week. Yikes. Yeah, with TikTok, make sure you're buying from reputable sellers who have been around a long time. Who actually have legitimate stores. That's my feeling on it. But yeah, I mean, enter at your own risk on that deal, right? No, Mike, I'm not censoring anything. I'm saying I would have to censor myself if I didn't want to be involved in any drama ever again. Like, I'm not going to go looking for it. I'm not going to put people's, names and thumbnails in my video anymore because obviously that's a no-no in Pokemon. But no, I'm not going to worry about the stuff I say. If people are that weak about it, like, so be it. I don't care. I just why would I want to be a part of a group or a community that's that soft? That has no No appeal to me. Is Fusion Strike a solid investment? 150 a box. Depends on your time frame. I mean, if I was buying it, I'd ask myself, well, can this box be worth more than $300 in 7 years? Because that's what the S&P average return is, about double every 7 years. So I'd be asking myself, I mean, I think this is $300. I'd go back and look at all the sets in X, Y, and Sun and Moon and think, well, this set's better than a lot of those. And I think, well, I mean, there isn't as much available of this as a lot of other stuff, and it's starting to rise already. And, it's got the Gengar, it's got the Mew. For me, I like it, but might not be for everyone. And guess what? Maybe it isn't a good investment, but I like it in terms of my own opinion. Yeah, TikTok's crazy. Green Shiz, listening to you while watching football, preparing my taxes for next year. Appreciate the evening live. Oh, man, I don't even want to think about taxes, dude. Why'd you have to bring that up? Just ruin the whole mood. Hope the game's going good. Who's playing tonight? Monday night. I don't even know who's playing. Who's playing, Josh? That's true. If you can't afford 10 Charizards, a 6 is still good if you can't afford it. So there's going to be something for everyone. It's really funny. I just sold a PSA 6 base set Charizard for $260. So even the 6s sell. Like, I mean, it's not that they're going to be as good an investment, but it's my point. My point in all that is Modern used to be talked. A lot of people who are newer to the hobby, you're not going to remember this, but 2-3 years ago, even back in like Evolution's time, in the Sun and Moon, like after Evolutions blew up, Modern investing was really crapped on, right? People would, I mean, guys, people were talking about overprinting back in Evolutions. I remember in Sun and Moon, Guardians, Rising, Burning Shadows time, people were saying Evolutions is never going to be worth anything. It's overprinted. The secret's out. SM Pratt, Rudy, Alpha Investments, they talk about investing. Everyone's investing now. It's not going to work. Okay. The same thing was talked about through Sun and Moon. Everything's way overprinted. Look, it's not like early XY or black and white. Everything's overprinted in Sun and Moon. If you want, see, here's the thing. I could go find clips of people saying that, but now I would get in trouble for creating drama again. There are clips. I used to watch these channels of people saying Sun and Moon is way overprinted now. Everything's overprinted compared to early XY. Investing in Modern isn't going to work anymore. Okay. Then the pandemic ended, right? Went into 2022. People said the same thing about Sword and Shield. People didn't think we'd have $300 and $400 Sword and Shield boxes already, right? And the only excuse people can make is, oh, things are overinflated. It's irrational. It's going to crash. The economy's going to crash everything. And it's like it continues to be proven true. And this is my own opinion now, okay? No, not putting words in anyone's mouth. The only reason I say it seems like that is because it seems like people don't want things that are able to be acquired by the masses to do well, right? They don't want anyone to be able to do this. People like, to be the only ones to be able to do something. They like the things that have very, very low pop reports or really scarce. You can never find them on the market, that everyone can't just go pick off their retail shelf or order online. Like, they want you to have to like grind and try to find that really exclusive PSA 10 or the cards that were, special release in Japan or special release at events and world promos and trophy cards and all these things that only the select few can own, that only price points the select few can own. And I think that side of the hobby doesn't like the Modern sealed investing side because it's so accessible, right? And it's so easy to do. And so that was my kind of point on the whole like gatekeeping thing. It just, that look, I'm not saying anyone's doing this. I'm saying that that thought process is a form of gatekeeping, right? Trying to make it seem like the best investments are the most expensive, most scarce. And it's like, so if I can't afford or find the most expensive, most scarce, then I can't invest in Pokemon to be successful? Like, that's the question. Is that what you're trying to tell me? But that was a lot of what was, pushed around back in the day. I mean, I could find multiple, forum posts. I could find multiple videos. I could show people by name, but I'm not going to do that. So you can go look for it yourself. Go look at, go search people's channels back, 2-3 years and listen to videos of them talking about Modern Sealed and Sun and Moon and Evolutions. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I think too many people think investing in Pokemon cards is the get rich quick overnight thing. It's a grind like everything else. Yeah, absolutely. That could be an issue. You're right. I think video games won't reach the pandemic peak again for a while. Could be years. That was a lot of stimulus going around. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the peaks of all these things are going to take a little while. Do you think Roaring Skies from XY is a good investment? I've actually talked to people privately, and I've said that if I can find boxes in XY at $500 or less still, I personally think it's cheap. To me, it seems cheap. It's hard to find a lot of Sun and Moon boxes under $500. XY is now like 7 to 10 years old. So those boxes are 7 to 10 years old already, still going for $500. It just seems cheap. Seems cheap, especially you're looking at like what black and white boxes go for, all in the thousands. And I showed you that chart before, right? So you know how I always talk about like why people will come back to XY generation. Everyone's like, Alex, why do you pump XY? This is why, right here. Like I always talk about, other than the pandemic, evolutions and Pokemon Go during the XY generations area, that was the second most time in history that Pokemon had the biggest spike ever, right? I mean, the peak of evolutions is still higher than the peak or than what it's at right now. Like, this was a huge time for the hobby. Not as big as, Hidden Fates and the pandemic. This is a huge time for the hobby. So people, you need to realize that. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Absolutely, Mason. New background, man. Moving up in the world, trying to look a little more professional. Might start wearing a suit and tie, a bow tie or something. Restock said, light play is minor scratching, moderately play is whitening, obvious wear and tear. Just minor. The Umberham V altar I bought and texture damage was it was in line going through the card. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just try not to mess with it. If it's anything past, some light scratching and stuff, I'll just throw it on plate. I don't care. Do you think Evolving Skies is still worth investing in? Here's the thing. It's a risk at this point, right? It's a very huge risk. Okay. People probably felt the same thing buying in Team Up when it was $750 a box. I mean, think of being the guy buying Team Up at the most it's ever sold for at $750. And, people probably saying it's too late. You already missed the boat. It's not going to rise anymore. And now it's over $2,000 a box. Am I saying Evolving Skies can do the same thing? Possibly. Flashfire in XY, in XY, it's $3,000 a box. Phantom Forces is $2,000. I mean, it seems like the top sets in each era find their way to $1,000+ a box. So, look, maybe I'm too optimistic. I can see it doubling again. I don't know how long, but yeah, if you're talking, Alex, in the next 7 years, here, I would love to do a kind of a game and open a stock or a brokerage account and just put $440 in an S&P index fund and let it sit there for 7 years and then buy an Evolving Skies box. And then in 7 years, come back, see where that account's at, and then see where the Evolving Skies booster box. In my mind, I still think the Evolving Skies booster box will still outperform an S&P index fund. That's just me, though. Just me. Not telling you to do anything yourself, not guaranteeing it will. I believe in it, though. It's the best set in the era. It's got the best card. It's got the card of a generation. Every other best set in every other generation has risen to astronomical heights. I don't see why Evolving Skies can't. When comparing Pokemon investing to traditional assets, do you include a 28% tax on collectibles? No, and this needs to stop being said. I ask every single person that invests or has a business in this hobby. No one's ever paid 28% on anything they have. If you're paying 28%, you need to go talk to a tax advisor. You need to go talk to an accountant. You need to get a business set up the right way so you can use write-offs correctly and you don't pay 28%. I've been buying and selling Pokemon cards since 2015, 16. Never paid a 28% tax bracket on anything. So it's all about, how you structure everything you have. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not diving into taxes, but no, you're not going to pay 28%. Naira back when Modern was trashed. I talked hard. It was gatekeeped, but I meant currently 2023 Modern has looked good on. I disagree. Even if everyone is not investing, everyone can afford it. Yeah. I mean, it's changed. I'd like to think I had a small part to play in that, me and other people. But yeah, Modern isn't demonized anymore. I 100% agree. Those days are gone, and it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see a world where you can literally pick anything in the Pokemon hobby. vintage, mid-era, modern, super high grades, nines, mid-era, like anything you want. And you can make the argument that it's investable. Like you can, and it's accepted. Like you're not going to say anything and people are going to like dog you and trash you for thinking that. I kid you not. You could have talked back in the day in a lot of places and said, I'm going to be stocking up on Evolution's cases because I think they're investable. You know how laughed you would have got? You would have got laughed at in almost every group in this community back then. Promise you. That's just how it was. And yeah, I agree. It's not that way anymore. Bills and Broncos tonight. Let's see. Green shiz. I wonder who you're for. Broncos? You a Broncos fan? I get that right? You rooting Broncos? I personally skip Modern because Yu-Gi-Oh was just superior to Pokemon back then. Regrets. Yeah. I hear you, man. Yu-Gi-Oh's actually, those anniversary sets aren't doing terrible. They're not doing great, but they're not getting too crushed. Gotta love people pulling the overprinted BS. People lie, numbers won't. Numbers won't. And I'm going to keep showing the numbers every step of the way. Like every time people keep saying this crazy, all this crazy stuff about like things are so bad. What is bad? Tell me what is so bad. Like that's what I want to know. Cracked ice bones, white wallpaper. I figured it looks like the Death Star, right? I like it. What are your thoughts on the classic collection boxes for hold or sell? Which cards do you like better, Japanese or English? So you asked me what I like better. I'm an English collector. I like English. I like being able to read the cards. I can't read Japanese. Just me. Not crapping on Japanese. Love all the Japanese collectors. Don't take that the wrong way. It's just my personal preference. I like English cards. As far as now, if there's a card that's only in Japanese, well then I gotta get the Japanese version if it's an exclusive. So I don't mind that. But if I have a choice, I go English. And then the classic collection boxes, I don't see it. Originally, a lot of people were saying they were really scarce. I know people, I talked to people personally who have stores and distribution who are getting like, 50, 60 boxes each. So I don't think they're as scarce as people like we're acting like. We're stores are only getting like 2 or 3. So I think there's going to be enough $400 price point for, in my mind, a glorified theme deck. It's like 3 theme decks. Like it's just, there might be a play there for some grading. As far as long-term sealed, I don't know. It's already at $400. If you're asking me, I'd buy any. Here, someone asked about Evolving Skies. I would buy an Evolving Skies booster box before I bought that. That's what I think about it. I think it's gonna perform worse than a mainline average booster box like Evolving Skies. I mean, it's a cool item to have for your collection, though, if you want it for your collection. I mean, as far as like investing and like trying to buy like 10, 20 of them, I don't see it. I mean, it's appreciate. I mean, I just don't know if it's going to appreciate that way when there's no chase, right? There's no gamble. They're just preset cards. Evolving Skies, we need to hit 1K a box, and even do that, the main hit would need to be above 1K in a PSA 10. So real question is, how high do you think Moonbreon will go? That's not true, actually, man. I could pull up. I'm actually going to do a video about that later this week. I'm going to go through a bunch of different sets all throughout the different eras. And there are countless examples of where the best cards in the set, even if graded as a PSA 10, they don't outweigh the cost of the booster box. And that's always been a thing in Pokemon. And I always talk about it. It blows collectors' minds. They don't understand how a box can be worth more than the cards inside. It just doesn't compute in their minds. And I talked about it. It's because the sealed box itself becomes valuable as time goes on. It's very hard to find mint sealed boxes out there for sealed collectors, and that's why they become more valuable than the actual cards inside. Not all the time, right? A lot of those, some of the gold star boxes, the gold stars can be worth more than the boxes, but I mean, even looking at first edition base, like first edition base set Charizard, I don't know what the exact market, but is it really worth more than a sealed first edition base set box? I know the base set Charizard Unlimited isn't worth what an unlimited base set box is worth. And so this happens all the time. So don't get fooled into thinking the singles have to perform well for the sealed item to perform well. The two don't correlate. They correlate in the beginning, in the first 1, 2, 3 years, right? When everyone's chasing the cards and everyone's grading and everything's hot. That's when they're a lot more, depending on how the singles do is how the box does. But as the time goes on and the items get more scarce, the reprints stop, that's when the two become disconnected. So don't fall into that trap. If you guys have family members or friends, if you're on okay with TikTok, you should use their first time customer promo on TikTok. Got 480 sleeve boosters of Lost Origin for $840. Nice pickup, man. Purchased the case of Evolving Skies 1 year ago, $1,500, up 67% in a year. I'll take that. I think you will. I think you will. I literally put Go Lions in the same lines as Bills and Broncos. Alabama football fan with Lions aren't playing. Just the Lions, huh, man? I mean, obviously, I know you're a Lions fan. I mean, I know you're from Detroit. I didn't know if you had, if you like any of the teams in that game. I mean, we lost our team. The Rams went back to LA. So, we don't even have a team anymore. I guess I got to root for KC nowadays. So, I mean, I'm cool with that. I got Mahomes. It's only about a 3-hour drive down the road, and I can go hit up the games. So, I'll take that. But, yeah, I do miss having the Rams here. It does suck. It's great times back in the Warner days and the greatest show on turf days. Those were the good days. I have not looked into sorcery at all. I only got so much time in a day. I wish I had time to look into every single thing. Based on Unlimited was overprinted and lost in time, but there are so many boxes left. Same will happen with Modern, but might take longer since people are protecting their boxes now. Yeah, same thing. It just takes time. Thoughts on the Pikachu gray felt hat? It's a PSA 10 pop up to 1733. Is that right? The PSA 10 pops that high already? If that's true, it's amazing. So look, I talked about it before when it was $100. I said, look, stonks can go into infinity, right? You've seen it with GameStop, the stock, right? You've seen it with Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin went to 70 or 80,000. Look, pumps don't have a limit. They can go forever, right? Now, eventually the madness and the hype and the hysteria will fall off, right? And when that happens, you don't know where it's going to fall to. That's the problem. You can't catch a falling knife. Now, am I saying that car is going to crash? I mean, I don't think it's going to crash, but I don't expect it to go up forever, right? I don't think it's going to keep going up and away. I do expect a correction. How low will that correction be? Honestly, if it keeps going much higher, it probably won't even correct under $100 anymore. I thought it would fall back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, but now since it's kept pumping, I mean, even if it saw 30% decrease, it'd still be over $100. And so, it's too early to tell. I mean, it could pump to $200 before it falls, but I expect there eventually to be, a capitulation point, and eventually we will see it come back. I don't know when that's going to be. I'm not touching it right now. I don't go for the home runs like those. I like to be a little more methodical about what I move into. Where am I at? Oh, I'm caught up. I'm not too far behind chat like I normally am. I'm staying caught up today. This is good. What happened to Cosmic Eclipse single card prices? Will other Sun and Moon sets do that eventually? We'll see what you're talking about. Let's see real time what you're talking about, man. All right, Cosmic Eclipse. All right, what's going on with Cosmic Eclipse singles prices? Cards. All right, we got Rosa. We got the trio, Lily. Wait, Lily? Is that? Okay. Got this guy. We got the Cynthia Caitlin, the Blastoise Piplup. We got the red and blue. All right, let's see what all this stuff's doing. Okay. All right, Jay. We got Rosa. Oh. Well, so in the last month, it's crashed quite a bit. Here's the thing, though. It looks so much worse than it is. Let's see what they're actually going for. So $180. Okay, never mind. That's just as bad as it looks. So it was at 230, and now it's going for 180. So that's about a 20%. Yeah. No, over 20. About a 25% decrease in Rosa. But that could be the waifu crash. Let's look at the other cards. Nope. That's all of them. Okay. So we've got a high back at 220s. This one is now going for, let's check it out. 220s. All right. Wow. So I guess they're all about the same, huh? This is what you've been looking at. So they're all falling about 20, 30%, huh? Except Lily's full force for some reason. This is going straight up still. Okay. But it's listed at 120 near mint, 130 near mint, but it's okay. So the chart's just off. So no, that's fallen just the same amount, if not more, maybe 30, 40%. Yeah. So we're seeing a huge correction in Sun and Moon cards, in the Cosmic Eclipse cards. And so you're saying that may not be happening with the other tag team sets. Let's go check it out. To clear out some of these tabs. This is going to get a little crazy if I keep all these tabs open. Okay, so Unified Minds. If I go ahead and look at those singles, I was not aware of this. I haven't been looking too closely at these singles. Let's take a look though. Got the Mewtwo, got the Raichus, Sableye, Tyranitar, or Sableye, yeah, Tyranitar. We got the the Psyduck. All right, let's see what Unified Minds is looking like. Misty saw highs in the 180s, and now we are seeing 150s. Yeah, so there's a 20%. Mewtwo, Rainbow, highs in the 190s. Now we're seeing, wow, 138. Wow, that is like what? I mean, 20, 40, God, 30 plus percent, 30%. Yeah, Raichu, it's all the same. Yeah, so it's looking like the tag teams are finally seeing their dip. Now, here's the thing. Here's what you're going to want to look for. Here is what they were before the boom. This is what I talk about. Before the pump, right? You know how far a pump's going to go. It found it's where it went. Usually, they're going to settle at a higher low, right? Usually, they're going to find a higher low. So, if they were at 90s before, they went up to the 180. This card will probably, in my personal opinion, I would be looking for this to settle in that probably 120 area, I would think. 120 to 130. It's at 150. I mean, like, for me, I would probably set a limit at like 120, 130. If I started seeing those cards hit that low, that'd probably be my time to start buying if I was looking for that card. So that's kind of what you want to look at. Usually they settle somewhere in the middle of that pump. So pump from 90 to 180, usually somewhere around here is where those cards will dip back down to. We can look at the Mewtwo. So Mewtwo started coming down and hit highs in 190s. It was 100. It's already down in the 138 range. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Mewtwo is probably hitting around, I was going to say probably 130s, 140s. This may be reaching bottoms. In my opinion, it could keep going lower if people start to panic. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you can look for on those. Thanks for bringing that up, Jay. Yes, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Tag team cards are getting affordable again. Alex said, Classic Collection is a nice collection piece, but that's it. The Japanese cards look more premium to me, but still, I can't see doing it as an investment. Hey, while I have everyone here, I'm going to go ahead and do a let's see. Come on. Too many tabs. I'm going to do a shameless plug for my box break. Another box break coming up this Thursday. I got a lot of messages asking me why I didn't have more Paradox Rift from 151. So I kept the prices exactly the same. 4 packs for $15, 4 packs at 151 for $4, which is pretty much cheaper than any other streamer, I think. So I kept those 2 sets again. I got more of both those sets. So anyone that didn't get a chance to have any opened last Thursday, guess what? You can get them this Thursday. So I didn't change that up at all. And then this Thursday, we do have the Evolutions booster box. Going to crack it live on stream. All the packs coming from the box. And they're going to be $25 a pack. And as always, if you join the Now Fan Plus membership, for the channel membership, you do get 10% off your entire order, every pack you order, no limit. And so this will be this Thursday night. If any of you want to get in on that live box break, it is live on nostalgianomics.com. And then, yeah, while you're there, hey, want to pick up any of the merch? I still do have merch. You can get the, Nomics sitting on the Mountain of Seal. You got the logo. And then anyone, as always, you're always asking me what kind of steel product, what kind of products to use. Here's all the different storage stuff for, all your collection, all the sleeves and junk. Here's all the stuff I use for shipping, whether it be for singles, PSA cards, boxes, ETBs, all the shipping supplies and storage stuff, scale. And then down here's the camera, microphone, lighting I use, all that. Here's where you make the thumbnails, live stream software, hire, freelance work to do this stuff for you. So that's kind of my shameless plug on my website, my box break. If anyone is interested, it's nostalgianomics.com. Sorry for that advertisement there, everyone. There's a good amount of black and white sets that the hits, even graded, don't reach the value of sealed booster boxes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just recently, I talk about Darkness Ablaze all the time. PSA 10 Charizard's like $90. The box goes for 100 and something. Actually, for a while there, Darkness Ablaze actually dipped recently. For a while there, Darkness Ablaze was selling for $140. Listen to this. The PSA 10 Charizard and the second best hit in the set, I forget what it was. I think it was a rainbow, but I priced it out. The two best hits in the set, say you open a box and somehow you pulled the two best cards and graded them both a 10, both of those cards together didn't equal $140. So that's how crazy sealed product can get sometimes. It doesn't have to mirror the singles. Do you think Neo Genesis Lugia has a chance to rise? So that was one of the biggest pumped cards during the boom. It went from like thousands to like $100,000. And it's just, yeah, I mean, definitely has a chance to rise. I mean, it's still a low pop card. It's super sought after. It's Lugia. You're always wanting to look for the popular species. That's one of them. First edition cards back in the early WotC, always great to pick up. And then, yeah, I mean, it's one of the top hits it's a top hit in the set. So, I mean, of course, I'm definitely a fan of the Neo Genesis Lugia. Releasing sets every month is ridiculous. It is getting ridiculous at this point. I mean, Pokemon's got to get it figured out. Like, there's just, you don't even have time to appreciate and even understand what's in the set before the next one's released. It's all too fast. How are you sourcing majority of your cards? I have had luck with buying local and eBay, but everything else use the source. Literally just eBay, TCG Player, local shows, local card shops. I found a lot at Collecticons. I find a lot at my local card shops, just right in their cases. I mean, I'll just literally sit there and just have them just pull out card after card for me. I'll look through all of them. And it's so easy to find gradable copies when you can actually hold them in your hand. And, the card shop employees, they get a little aggravated when you ask them to take out, like 100 different singles while you're there. But hey, trying to make some money here. And then eBay TCG Player. So my strategy has been, if it's like a card that I deem as gradable. So like, say it's like a $5 or $10 card. And, if it gets a 10, I can maybe like a 90, 100 plus card. And then as a 9, it's like a $30 card. I'll source like cards that cheap in bulk from TCG Player, and I'll just take the risk. The higher end cards, I don't really like buying like $50 plus cards on TCG Player in bulk. So those I'll try to source on eBay one by one. But you can source in bulk. Here's the thing. I mean, just understand the print quality of the sets. Watch YouTube videos. Here, everyone's like beating up Danny Phantom. Here, I'll give Danny some credit. Watch Danny Phantom, right? He opens up tons of product every time a set gets released, like cases and cases. He'll be able to let you know what the print quality is like. He'll let you know the hit rates and stuff, and so you can get an idea of what's hard to pull, what the print quality is. If it's a set with good print quality, like a lot of the Sword and Shield sets were, like Crown Zenith had great print quality from a lot of their cards. You can feel a lot more comfortable buying those cards on TCG Player in bulk near mint, even though you can't see the pictures. But if it's some of the Scarlet Violet era sets, those you're probably going to want to, see pictures on eBay, because a lot of those near mint are going to be like PSA 8, PSA 7 quality even, or PSA 9 at best, because they're just not in good quality out of the pack usually. And so it really depends. But yeah, you're doing the right thing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's just, there's no perfect way to source. It's all over the place. Sometimes people will come to me and they have stuff they're wanting to trade or get rid of. And, it doesn't happen as much as me. I think it probably happens to the big guys a little more because, I'm kind of new to being full time with this. But, yeah, I mean, I'm always buying if anyone's looking to, sell off their collections. If investing, just cop every PC ETB, every booster box, one is bound to blow up. I mean, it's kind of true. It's kind of like the whole Charizard theory. if a set's got a Charizard in it, buy that set. Darkness Ablaze has kind of went by the wayside with the Charizard theory, and now Obsidian Flames. But I mean, that's kind of true. I mean, I actually went back and looked at every single set. So since PC ETBs have been released, every single set since then, the top 2 items in the sets were the booster box and the PC ETBs as far as percentage growth. So I mean, that should tell you something. Those are the 2 front running items. When raw cards within a set become worth more than the booster box they're in, it's probably a good sign to invest in a few boxes. I can agree with that. You're probably right. Look at 151 ETBs. They're 110 a pop right now. What? Oh, PC ETBs. Might be an opportunity. The promo is $40 a pop. I bought in retail, so if y'all don't own it, it's the exact carbon copy of the Evolutions ETB. Thoughts on Squirtle Pokemon Center stamp? Yeah, I don't understand that card either. I don't get it. Like I don't. My problem is I'm not an exclusivity like special release, stamp like collector, any of that stuff. So none of it makes sense to me personally. But yeah, I mean, I'll pull it up. It's crazy. It's now the 2nd highest value promo in all of Scarlet Violet era. Market price of $86. Look at Felt Hat Pikachu 170s. I don't get it. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, in my mind, it's overhyped and overvalued, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I really don't understand any of it anymore. People are just obsessed with these stamps and these, what it reminds me of. And it's still a thing today, but it's not as big of a thing as it was back in XY and Sun and Moon. It reminds me of the whole stamped pre-releases. Staff stamp pre-releases were like the biggest, hottest thing. Everyone wanted them. Go look at the Staff Evolutions Charizard pre-release. That card is astronomically priced in a PSA 10. And this is kind of like just the evolution of that. Everything's got to have a stamp. Pokemon Center stamp, GameStop stamp, Best Buy stamp, whatever. It's all just too much at this point. It's a stamp, people. It's a freaking stamp. Hey, man, would you rather own a Flareon Hollow PSA 9 First Edition Jungle or a Flareon PSA 10 Unlimited? Friends of the night. All right. Let me look this up for you real quick. Okay. I actually have a video explaining all of these numbers. So let me hold on. Let me go ahead. Go to my YouTube channel. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'll find the exact videos for you so you can go watch them. All right. So I actually did videos on this exact topic. I'm happy you asked that. I actually went through and looked at all these numbers. Here it is right here. Wait, no, this is PSA. So this video right here, the truth about Pokemon investing, this is the PSA 9 over the PSA 10s, okay? And actually, this video actually outlines that a good amount of PSA 9s actually performed their PSA 10 counterparts. So literally the exact same card, whether it be an vintage, first edition, mid-era, modern, it didn't matter. I gave a bunch of different examples. It's not a rule, okay? There's a lot of 10s that outperform the 9s. So it's not a rule, but 9s can outperform 10. So I went and I showed a whole bunch of examples where the exact same card in a 9 actually had higher peaks. So now I'm not saying that it went sold for more than a PSA 10, but it had a higher percentage growth during the peak. And even after everything came back after the boom, it still held a higher percentage return than the PSA 10 copy did in the same card. And I found multiple examples in early WotC, later WotC, mid-era, modern. And so yes, you can, so getting back to your question, one more thing. Let me find those other 2 videos you can watch because these will actually help you a lot. Right here. Nope. Let me go back. God, I didn't know they were this long ago. This is forever ago. Hold on, they aren't this long ago. I must have missed it. Here, right here. All right, it's about a year ago. So watch these 2 videos. Okay, it's PSA Unlimited 10s versus First Edition 9s, and it's the same cards compared. And then it was PSA 10s versus PSA 9s again. But yeah, this is the video right here where it shows that unlimited 10s were actually more sought after than the first edition 9s. And this honestly blew my mind even when making the video, because I always thought that the first edition stamp would hold more value than the PSA grade. But apparently the consumers, they want the 10s. Consumers would, and this is proven all throughout the history of Pokemon, consumers would rather pay up for a PSA 10 unlimited card over a first edition PSA 9 card. So the Flareon, I don't know that exact card. You have to look it up and see how it's done over the years. You can use pokedata.io. That's pokedata.io. And you can actually, so you can create a free account there and you can look at how it's performed since, I think they started in 2016 with the data. You can see how it's performed and make your decision if which one to move into, because, it's wild. It's really wild because each card has different ways performed. But first editions do not always outperform unlimiteds, which is that crazy, I know. Wow, I think the Squirtle is undervalued. So here's the thing, the scarcity, crowd, they like these things, and if it's truly is short printed or whatever, and it's, then maybe it is undervalued. Like I said, I don't get into the exclusive promo like game much, so I'm not the best person to ask about the Squirtle. So if Restock Shock's more into it, maybe he knows more about the print runs and all that. I don't know. And now all of a sudden I'm way behind, so I'm gonna try and catch up, guys. Let's see. Crystal ball question. What will be more expensive in 5 years? Crown Zenith Bidoof or Expedition Booster Box? That Crown Zenith Bidoof, I actually just listed one. Is anyone looking for one? Hold on. I got one right here. Where is it? I just listed a whole bunch of Crown Zenith cards. I got it. Crown Zenith Bidoof. Who wants it? It's up for sale on my TCG player. I actually have like all the Crown Zenith character rares. Had a crazy amount of listing I did today. Yeah, I'll take Crown Zenith Bidoof. I think the Expedition empty booster box will always be worth more than the Crown Zenith Bidoof with nothing in it, no packs or anything, just the cardboard. Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Like, speaking of the cardboard, so when I had my old collection, I had some boxes I opened, like when because I opened some first edition WotC boxes back in the day to grade the cards, and I sold off the light packs, and you were able to make money doing that back then, which is crazy. So I had the empty boxes, and I wanted to complete my like WotC sealed box collection. And back then it was like there was barely even a market for it. Sometimes you'd find them online, they'd be like $20 or something, or you'd be out like. But anyways, they were worth like nothing. It was just the cardboard. It was like people thought you were crazy. Like, you're paying $25 for just an empty cardboard box. During the boom, I actually sold a lot of those boxes for like $100 plus, and like I made I don't know if I made thousands. I made hundreds and hundreds of dollars off empty cardboard boxes that I just bought for display purposes. Like, I had almost no money in them. It's truly crazy what's happened in this hobby. People are even buying opened packs. Like, I have a friend, you guys know him, Pokemon Gym Hero. He's been on the channel before. He's made like a fortune this year selling open packs, like open Skyridge packs, like open Aquapolis packs, like just literally ripped open packs, just the pack art. So literally anything in Pokemon's collectible, apparently. And I know a lot of people, they think like, well, yeah, they're gonna try to use those boxes and packs to reseal and do things. Maybe like I know that stuff goes on, so maybe I have second thoughts about like selling onto the market anymore. But I think people back then during the boom when I was selling that stuff, I don't know if it was to reseal. I think people were just that crazy about Pokemon. They wanted anything and everything that said Pokemon on it. I'd skip Paradox. It's trash unless you're collecting every PC, not investable. I don't skip any sets. I buy them all. So I'll buy Paradox and we can see how bad or good I do with it. So you don't have to. Yes, the waifu and tag team pump. It looks like it's officially over. Here lies the waifu craze, unfortunately. And then how come you don't promote Burning Shadows as a big buy opportunity? Burning Shadows is a thing. So back in the day, they had mass box openings of Burning Shadows where people opened like, 1,000 booster packs on a video and pulled one Burning Shadows Charizard. So here's the thing with Burning Shadows. I mean, I can pull it up. Burning Shadows is not a good set. It's very. It kind of compares. It's compared to Darkness Ablaze, but 100 times better than Darkness Blaze because the Charizard actually has value, right? But look, I mean, here's Burning Shadows. Okay, I'll show you what it's got. It's got nothing. You got Charizard. Acerola and Wick have some value, but then you got like, look at this. The set's so bad that Escape Rope and Gold Energies are some of the top 10 cards. You got some rainbows and some energy cards. Like, I know the Wick, there's the waifu. Everyone likes the Wick, right? Everyone liked her back then, She's looking good. What does Rudy say? She's looking healthy, very healthy looking young woman. And then you got Acerola, but other than that, it's basically you're just chasing Charizard. And so the set as a whole, I mean, I'll be honest, back in the day, Guzma was a huge card. It was hugely playable. This card was like a $50 card. I can't believe how far it's crashed. But I just don't know how strong the actual set is. I mean, it's got Gardevoir Rainbow Rare. Maybe it is pretty strong. But yeah, it's $400 a box. Is that what we're going for? Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's undervalued. I think a lot of these early Sun and Moon and XY boxes that are still under $500 are cheap. Especially going for seeing what everything else goes for, Black and White, Diamond and Pearl going back. $500 booster box for what is Burning Shadows, like 6 years old now? That's cheap in my opinion. I agree. I mean, I'm not like making it, but again, like promoting Burning Shadows, I'm not saying it's like the absolute best thing in the world you could buy right now with $400, but if you're looking for older booster box to pick up for like a long-term collection that can gain value, yeah, I think Burning Shadows is one of them. If y'all are investors, the opportunity right now is TikTok Shop and PC Sword and Shield ETBs. Those will spike once they're gone. Okay. Loading up on the TikTok deals. A lot of people are, it seems like. BGS 9.5 first edition Lugia sold on eBay last night for a little over $4K. Wow. Green Shiz, man, what did it look like? I'm sure you looked it over. Was it 10 quality? Was it PSA 10 quality? If so, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Cosmic Eclipse singles might be dropping in price because you find Cosmic Eclipse booster packs in the Gardevoir Blissey tins at Dollar Store right now. Yeah, and they were also in the Arceus V figure box. I mean, right? That was Cosmic Eclipse, I think. Yeah, they printed a lot of Cosmic into the Sword and Shield era, like way into it. So yeah, that's like one of the reasons why the singles and the booster packs can be cheap, but the box continue to rise because they didn't reprint the booster boxes when they reprinted all the packs. And like, so that's why you have to be careful about the singles, just like the Lugia V and things like that, and Silver Tempest or Lost Origin. Those singles, or here, perfect example, Crown Zenith right now. Those singles could get wrecked for a while, but if all the streamers are continue to open it and people just love that set and they want to pull it, now it's cheap so they can, and all that product gets ripped immediately fast, and it's probably most likely the last reprint. We could see the Crown Zenith ETBs go up a whole lot faster than the singles can, because as fast as those get open, that just means there's that many more singles on the market, but then that much less supply of the sealed product. So yeah, don't get caught up trying to compare the singles to the price of the sealed product. It's not a road you want to go down. It won't end the way you want it to. That's not a good way to try to predict the future on sets. I'm curious about 151 reprint going forward. A lot of profit online now, but nothing in stores. Yeah, I mean, the singles just keep going up, right? The singles keep going up. I mean, PSA 10s of like regular illustration rares are selling for hundreds of dollars. It's kind of wild. 151, the hype is real. I think people were just starved. Well, here, 151 brought in a lot of collectors again. It did. It's bringing in a lot of people back into the hobby or into the hobby. So that's one thing. It's a huge positive. but I think people were just starved for a good set. And we finally got a good set. And, you know, you had base, and I mean, Paldea's a good set, but I mean, I think people were just starved for some kind of hype or some kind of, you know, big pump. And that was it. 151. I mean, it delivered. It just delivered. They didn't bomb it. It delivered everywhere it needed to. And it's just a great set. The reprint, I mean, the reprint's definitely going to help prices, but I think 151 is going to do well into the future, just like Celebrations did. You know, Celebrations got printed pretty heavily too, remember? Tons of different products, all released, all on the shelves. Celebrations ETBs are in the mid-80s. I mean, $50 to mid-80s. What is that, like 70, 80% gain? 70 or 80% gain? Not bad. In Australia, you can get Fusion Strike booster boxes for 105 to 110. I'm not sure why. We have tons of stock here for cheap. Usually it's drear. Wow, that's interesting. Alex, I might be hitting you up, man. I might need a big shipment from Australia if you and you can take some profit off the top for yourself, man. Hit me up. Why? Because nobody's looking at Fusion Strike. Nobody really tells you how amazing Fusion Strike is. Literally, Gengar VMAX alt, Espeon VMAX alt, bury every other alt art in the Sword and Shield besides Moon. What do you mean, dude? Well, come on. Really? You're going to do Fusion Strike like that? Let's take a quick look. I'm not on board with that opinion there, Restock. Gengar, VMAX, and Espeon. Got it. So the Mew, just totally disregard both the Mews. No good. Mew's no good anymore. Celebi, no good. Got another Mew, another Gengar VMAX. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's definitely not as deep of a set because it doesn't have a trainer gallery. But hey, you got the Shauna. Again, got a little waifu action. I mean, yeah, it's not super deep, but it's got more than those two, right? I mean, the Celebi, both the Mews. I mean, all 5 of these are pretty strong alt arts. I mean, I would put these 5 alt arts up against pretty much any other alt art sets. I mean, this is arguably better than, I mean, I think it's better than Silver Tempest, even with Silver Tempest Trainer Gallery. I mean, it's a strong set. No way around it. And I mean, Gengar's just as Gengar's more popular than Lugia, if not just as popular. Espeon, it's an evolution. Mew, one of the most popular Pokemon in Pokemon. Celebi V, it's like a probably, if not top tier, second tier popular Pokemon. I mean, those are great alt arts and they're great species. Why are you dogging on Fusion Strike, my dude? I'm a collector, break evener. So I flip my stuff and break even on money spent. However, I do collect. I invest not too much crazy money, but build free collections of high value. Genuinely enjoy that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to be. That way you never get too stressed out and unhappy with the hobby. You can keep enjoying it. Once you get too far into the dollars and cents, it's not as fun anymore. What is the best Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet era booster box to invest in? Oh, let me get my crystal ball out. I'm actually going to get a crystal ball. And every time I'm going to ask one of these questions, I'm going to get it. I'm going to rub it and look in it. I'm going to let you know what the crystal ball is. I'm going to get a Magic 8-ball. How about that? Best set in all of them? I don't know. I really don't. I could not pick just one set. 151. It's probably going to do really well. You know, the ETBs or the UPCs. Like I said, I mean, I like Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike, but they are already 150. They're already pretty expensive. So, I mean, maybe try to get it 151. It's available. Prices are dropping. It's cheap. Not a bad idea. Most of the liquid collections, though. Okay, he's talking back to someone else. Sorry about that. What set between Paldea and Paradox Rift? I still like Paldea. I still think Paldea is a great set. It's got the legendaries. Paradox Rift is good too, though. They're both strong. I think Paldea and Paradox are two of the stronger sets over base set and Obsidian Flames, in my opinion. And I know Obsidian Flames is a Charizard. You can't count out a Charizard set, but I still like Paradox Rift so far and Paldea both. Which is better? I'll take Paldea still. Oh, a little late, Cashmere Fire. It's all right, man. Thanks for being here. I like Paradox Rift too, Marco. I think it's a great set. I agree. Restock thinks it's a dumpster fire. It's nice to see two own one each item, but beyond that, it's not investable, not worth buying 20 boxes. Other plays available. Rainbows will go up since they were discontinued. That is interesting. That is a interesting play to try right now. Is the rainbow rares? It could become a thing. They were actually, they're meant to be the top hit, the top chase in Sun and Moon, and the market just, they didn't want it. The market said no. I like the full art, colorful trainers. I like the colorful cards. I like, the tag team cards more than the rainbow cards. And so they got value more. Now, does that mean the rainbow rares are undervalued because they're actually more rare and harder to pull? Possibly. It's very possible. I'm saving all my funds for the 30th. Oh, man. You're going to have a big pile of money by that time. I think you are underrating gold energy cards. They always will have demand because the players that have the flashy cards in their decks. I'm not underrating them. I'm not saying they're not always going to have value, but the top 3, 4, 6, 7, 8th card in the whole set, those are the chase cards you're chasing after. You really imagine being a kid and usually if you got a trainer rare or an energy, that was no good, right? You got a rare energy or a rare trainer, that was a dud pack. I don't think people are excited to pull a gold energy the way they are to pull their favorite Pokemon, in the top rarity. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't seem, I don't know. Surface was the 9 in the scans. Can't see the print line scratches, but they likely had to be there to get the 9 on the surface. I gotcha, man. So it probably wasn't 10 quality, but yeah, that's cheap. They are getting cheap. Good time to be a collector, isn't it? Good time to be a collector. And cards like Escape Rope are also really playable. Yeah, I understand all that. I get all the playability stuff and having the flashy decks, but and I get them having some value. I get them having value, but come on. 3rd, 4th, 5th highest card in the whole set. Is that really what we're chasing for, guys? I don't think so. I think Sealed has more customers to cater to. They work for those that like to open packs, collect ungraded slabs versus ungraded. Your only customers are slabs and raw. So I got to be honest. I don't know where a lot of slab hate's coming from. I heard a lot about it at Collecticon. How slabs weren't moving. I've heard other people talk about it. My slabs are moving pretty decently. I have no issues with how fast my slabs are moving. Like I said, I try to list 5 slabs a day on eBay, and my eBay total items I have listed don't really go up that much because the slabs are selling out quickly. So I don't know. I think there's still a lot of slab collectors out there. As far as pack openers, absolutely. That's all whole hobby's built off of. If any of us here really don't like opening packs, I think you're lying. I don't know. Yeah, we all want to open packs. That's still the biggest part of the hobby. I agree with that. I'm trying to see. I'm almost caught up to chat. I'm at 8:39, so I'm only a few minutes back. Let's see what we got. You need a Dragon Ball to use a crystal ball. Yeah, so Paradox, a lot better quality than I agree with that. When I did my box break Thursday, I saw that right away. I was pulling gradable copies right out of those Paradox Rift packs. 151 too. They're definitely starting to get the quality under control. 151's hit and miss. I've seen 150. I've pulled 151 cards that are like a light play out of the pack. So it's hit and miss. So they were kind of getting it together in 151, it seems like. Paradox Rift seems like they're starting to get the printing better. So that's a huge plus. I'm really happy to see that. I think I'd rather have Charizard UPCs at the moment. Hey, as these loose packs continue to rise in value and Charizard UPC has them, guess what? I don't care how many Charizard UPCs are out there. People will start cracking them just to sell the packs and the promos inside, which will decrease the supply enough that they'll actually rise in value. I still hold true that those Charizard UPCs are going to be rising eventually here soon. Could be. I know I'm crazy, pumping it. Guys, I got like 18 of them. Big deal. I'm not pumping. I don't have some huge position, right? I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars in Charizard UPCs. I'm just telling you what I think. Like, full disclosure, I have 18 Charizard UPCs. Big deal. It's not. I just wanted some exposure to them. It's not some huge position or anything. So I'm not shilling anything or, just talking about things that I don't actually believe in. I promise you that. I think Chron ETBs are amazingly good right now at $40 an ETB. I never thought we'd see them that cheap before. Slab hate's coming from me, probably because I'm not an investor. More power to you if you guys are flipping them. I just don't enjoy collecting slabs, so I don't make positions in them. Really, you don't enjoy slabs, huh? What do you display them in your cards? Like, do you just put them like a top loader, or how do you display them on like a shelf? Like, I just feel like a slab looks so much better and cleaner. You don't gotta worry about them ever getting damaged again, or like, I don't know. I personally like slabs. What do you think about the Weiss Schwartz cards, like the Disney 100 and Pixar Marvel boxes? I like them. I know, some are in English, some are the Japanese only. Look, I mean, especially if Lorcana stays well, I mean, I'm sure collectors will spill over and want those. I like a lot of Weiss Schwartz stuff lately, like the Avatar boxes, that crazy waifu box that Rudy opened, whatever that's called. I don't even know the name of it. Azure Lane. I started to look into Weiss product. Weiss has got some cool products and crossovers and IPs they're using. So, Disney, I think they can do well. Absolutely. CGC slabs were like the plague at Houston Collecticon. Hey, all slabs are not created equal. All right. Like, I think I might no, I'm not going to go there. I got some ideas for the shelf, but I'm not going to go there. Yeah, Sir Amanda, you can make huge gains on playable cards. Raikou V, EG was $2. Scarlet and Violet base release, and it got popular in the Lost Box and Meridian decks, and jumped to $10 in a month. Yeah, so that's a huge thing that I'm definitely going to get more involved with, is keeping up with the playability of things. It's definitely an area that I'm lacking in, and I think a lot of people can get better with it, because that's a huge thing, is keeping up with what the top players are putting in their decks. You can see huge gains in those cards. Now, as far as like longevity of the cards, it's not very good. Like, trying to like invest in them or like, grade them and things. That's not the play there. The play there is literally picking up mass singles and then flipping those mass singles back onto the market still raw. Because just like we saw with like the Guzma I showed you in Burning Shadows, that card was a hugely playable card. It was at the top of his game. You can look at like the Tapu Lele from Guardians Rising. There's tons of other examples. They were, wildly popular, tons and tons of money, top hits in the set, or some of the top cards in the set, and absolutely crashed down to nothing because, went out of rotation. Now they're not playable. People moved on to bigger and better things. It's way back in Sun and Moon. And so, like, there's definitely plays there, probably not long-term plays there. A full art card in an extended art case looks way better than a graded slab. Okay. All right. Yeah. If there's other options out there, by all means. Yeah. I'm not trying to push slabs on anyone. Don't get me wrong. If you like it better, go that way. Too many people grading the same-ish. I think Top 10 Pokemon did the top 10 graded cards of late. Japanese version of Paldea Magikarp already 10K graded. Just stupid. all I'm going to say is don't get too afraid of high pop reports in the modern times. That's all I'm going to say. Perfect example, right? Let's pull up TCG Fish real quick. Okay. And again, TCG Fish isn't always 100% up to date every second of every day, but it gives you an idea. I showed you earlier in this live, the Lugia V PSA 10 has not even dropped, if not barely dropped, right? You saw that. Okay. So look at this. 5,500 PSA 10s. And it's a 65% chance of getting a 10. So it's pretty easy to grade. At the same time, though, right? Lugia V's, $300, PSA 10, November 13th. Lugia V, August 15th, $302, $325. Basically the same price. So don't get too caught up in pop reports and think that that's all that matters. What you have to ask yourself, do you not think there's 10,000 people in this whole entire worldwide most highest grossing media franchise ever that want to own that card? And then you have to ask yourself, well, what would people be willing to pay? And even though a card will have 5,000 and 10,000 pop report, there's always going to be a price that enough people are willing to pay. If it's a popular enough Pokemon, a popular enough card, something people actually want, there will always be a price that people in this hobby are willing to pay for this Lugia. I don't know if it's always going to be $300, but there's always going to be a price people are willing to pay, whether it has 5,000, 10,000, or 15,000 graded copies as a 10. So just remember that side of things. Watching from the UK, Adam, what's up? Love your channel. Have started holding more sealed product as of late, trying to start watching. Appreciate that, man. And good luck on the sealed product. I know this is probably you're definitely going to be in for the long game. You know, the fast stonks are gone. This is definitely going to be a slower moving time for sealed product. But yeah, I'm still with you. I continue to keep buying sealed as well with each set that comes out, and I believe in it still. So hopefully things continue and the whole world doesn't collapse on us. I think as long as the world continues, kind of gets through all the turbulent times we're in now and the economy picks back up, I don't see any reason why Pokemon won't follow like it always has. Yeah, playable cards are short term. Yeah, 100%. Slabs are cool if that's your play. My play is a bunch of sealed and single raw just because I don't use eBay TCG Player. I resell to local peeps in my layer. Wow. So you do 100% local? Man, that sounds brutal. See, I mean, that's something I couldn't do. I couldn't try to meet up and sell to that many people in person all the time. It just eBay and TCG Player provide too much liquidity for me, and it's easy. I don't usually have to really ever take messages or talk to people. I list the cards, I buy it now, they sell, and it's really easy. But hey, that's what I'm talking about. There's literally a different niche, a different market, a different way to approach this hobby for everyone out there. I mean, that's what's so great about it. 10K population is nothing if demand is millions. So here's the thing. Some high-end sports card collectors, I believe, I don't know if it was Sports Card Investor, but there was conversations being had about the population in sports cards too. And people saying, hey, I mean, literally people with millions and millions of dollars in sports cards, people who have been in the hobby for way past this boom, like since the 80s in sports cards. They were saying, hey, don't let these 10 and 15,000, 20,000 pop reports scare you. It's going to be the new norm, and there's going to be enough demand to support it. So that's what they believe in the sports card hobby. I haven't seen any reason not to believe it in Pokemon. Just because we're not seeing the 300 and 500 pop reports or 100 pop reports we saw back in vintage. Well, guess what? A lot of those vintage and mid-era cards, no one's looking for them. No one was in the hobby when a lot of those came out. No one has any interest in them. The art doesn't pop out of people. And so, yeah, it takes a lot less people to be interested in those cards to move those markets, but you got to find those people to be interested in them. If there's no interest, there's no value. Tons of interest. Yeah, there's a lot of population, but there's still a ton of interest, and there probably always will be. So just take that into account. Don't just look at one thing. Don't just look at just the pop reports or just this, just that. A lot of things go into it. How can you say pops don't matter? I didn't say it didn't matter. I didn't say that. It affects future growth 100%. Look at Charizard SV49. It's dropped 50% since late 2021. It's 500 in PSA 10. It's 500 in a PSA 10 now. Just last year, it was 750. I didn't say they didn't mean anything. I said it's not the only factor. I said don't let the fact that something has a 3, 5, 10,000 pop be your only deciding factor in saying if this card can hold its value or can be worth more in the future. I wholeheartedly believe we will see a lot of these alt art cards that have these thousands of pop reports grow in value in the future, and it'll kind of show this theory come to life. Until then, we're gonna have to wait and see. But that doesn't scare me. 2, 3, 4, 5,000 pop reports, it doesn't scare me. Maybe if we get up in like 20, 30, 40,000 pops, it might become an issue. But I just think there's enough demand out there, and there will be enough demand because of the amount of people that found the hobby during this time and the amount of hype on Sword and Shield alt arts and how cool they are, how hard they are to hit. I think there'll be enough there, but that's just me. Charizard V, yeah, it's a different story. Is that the what is that? Is that the Champion's Path? Charizard V? SV49? Is that, or no, that's Hidden Fates. Or Shining Fates. Shining Fates? Charizard V. SV107? SV49. Oh, you're talking about the Hidden Fates one, right? Hidden Fates Charizard? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely seen a drop. Hidden Fates as a whole seen a drop. Here's the other thing about Hidden. Here, let me go pull it up, and I'll pull it up on screen so we can talk about it together. Well, let's pull it up and talk about it. All right, here's the thing. So I mean, honestly, the single hasn't had too much of a drop. It's at 350. It was at 400 at its height this year. So the single hasn't dropped too much. You're saying the PSA 10 copy has dropped a ton. So let me get that comment off the screen. So we'll look at Charizard. You say SV49, PSA 10. All right, let's check it out. So selling for 530, 550. And then if we go all the way back to as far back as eBay will let us go. Back in August, it was 7. Well, that's Australia. Let's see. Back in August, it was 680, 725. Yeah, so we've seen what, about a 30% decrease. That's pretty much in line, though, with a lot of the Sun and Moon stuff, right? A lot of the Sun and Moon stuff has been coming back down to Earth, about 20, 30%, just like we saw in Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, all those. So, is this normal market ebb and flow? Is it because of the pop report? It's hard to tell. We're going to see as time goes on. If the market rises and the PSA 10s continue to rise in value, then you'll know that it isn't because of the pop report. It's because it was just a normal drop in the market after the enormous pump a lot of those saw. So, time will tell. Golly Shad, time will tell, man. I'm definitely not saying pop reports don't matter, though. It's just they're not the end all be all. It's all I've ever said. You can't just go after all low pop cards because it won't end well. Like I could probably point out 20 high pop cards that perform better than 20 super low niche cards, all from mid-era and vintage. It's not the end all be all. It's the species popular. Like how much demand is there for it? Like how hard is it to find? Like how hard is it to pull the card? Right? How hard is it to find sealed boxes or sealed packs to actually try to open that card again? Like there's a lot. There's just so much that goes into it besides pop report. I think pop reports got really overblown during the, obviously SM Pratt, like some of the other YouTubers that came up that really focus in on like the older, rare, mint or better, the niches, the scarcity factor and really, dove into pop reports, but they're not the end all be all. Like they're important. Don't get me wrong. They're just not, it's not the only thing to look at. It's not the only thing that derives value. Is it worthwhile to own a Chilling Reign booster box? I do. I own Chilling Reign booster boxes. Let's see. The SV49 didn't get affected by Sun and Moon. It's been steadily decreasing since late 2021. Well, here's the thing, though. Like, do you have another example? Like, Hidden Fates is a bad example. Hidden Fates was overly pumped. So in 2021, how expensive were the ETBs? Because the ETBs that set cost like over $300 at one point. Now the ETBs are down at like 170. So could it, this is what I'm saying. There's so many factors that could have played into why that card's dropping. I can't just come out and say it's 100% because the pop report's high, because we're seeing other cards that have high pop reports that aren't seeing crashes in value. So I just don't know. Like Hidden Fates is a hard one because it got extremely pumped hard during the boom. And now it's coming, it's been coming back down to reality ever since. So the whole set's been dropping, not just the Charizard. Nomad, $4.99 super sticker. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for the support. Appreciate you being here tonight. Shining Treasure Charizard looks good as well. Mew Altar. Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe this Shining Treasures might be a pretty cool set. Maybe it isn't just another Hidden Fates, Shining Fates type thing. Maybe it's got a little something else to it, right? The issue is there are too many cards and sealed to collect nowadays. The money is spreading thin. Yeah, I mean, yes and no, right? Like, it just, sealed product, there isn't too much. I mean, you could collect every Sword and Shield booster box for less than like one PSA 10, vintage card, or even some PSA 9 vintage cards, right? You could collect, you could buy like one, PSA 10 mid-era vintage card, or you could collect like every Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, even some Sun and Moon or XY booster boxes all together. So it's really just about what you want to collect, right? I mean, sealed collectors, it's, if they have the same budget as someone who's like a Grail collector of older stuff, they could easily continue to keep collecting sealed. And then once you start getting your sealed collection going, it's really easy to pay like $90, $100 for each box that comes out and continually add it to your collection while you're still budgeting to keep going back and getting those Sun and Moon, XY, black and white boxes. So I don't know. I don't think it's too much. I mean, for new people coming in the hobby, it's starting to get harder. But even then, like, let's think about it. What would it cost to get, if you got in the hobby right now and you want to start collecting? Well, all Scarlet and Violet, you got Base, Paldea, Obsidian, Paradox Rift, all under $100, and you can get a Pokemon Go, or a Pokemon 151 ETB. So that's like under $500. You could have the whole Scarlet Violet era. Then you got Sword and Shield, which every box other than Evolving Skies, Base Set, and Rebel Clash are under $200. So like all those boxes you can pick up very cheap. I mean, a couple $1,000s could get you all those two eras completed immediately. Now you're already on Sun and Moon and XY. There's a lot of Sun and Moon and XY boxes that are like under $500 still. I don't know. I don't think it's spreading too thin right now. I really don't. So it's still relatively cheap to be a sealed collector. But as far as like too many cards, yeah, I mean, people are going to be more selective on the cards for sure. Make positions you believe in. I agree. If you had a choice between Diamond Hands, Paldea, or Paradox Rift, I'll take Paldea. Yeah, I'm with you. Paldea all the way. I'm still a Paldea Evolved believer. I said it from the very, very beginning when I saw that set. I think this set is going to be one of the biggest. It's going to fool everyone. It's going to be probably one of the best performers in the era, and no one's going to see it coming. Moonbreon it's the holy grail of the modern Pokemon collector. I mean, anyone that came up during this time, during Sword and Shield, you got to own a Moonbreon if you're a true Sword and Shield collector, right? That's awesome, Dylan. You got your phone case made of Pokemon? That's cool. I like it. Evolving Skies brought you into Pokemon. Exactly, and so many people as well. Guys, I caught up to chat. This is a fun night, though. To anyone like that did join late, though, if you didn't see the I will kind of recap it. What this whole like stream was about, the whole expose type thing. It's really just about exposing the fact that this market is not doing bad. Pokemon's strong. Sales are strong. I'll go and I'll recap it right now, what I showed. This is eBay's research tools. They actually show you. You can actually look up what's been selling. So I looked up Pokemon. All right, October 14th through today, right? Today in 2022. So the same 30-day period, average sale price back then was $36. Only 600,000 items sold, 21.8 million. the same exact time period, right? Same exact time period, 2023, higher average sale price, higher items sold, higher total amount, right? By like millions. And then I did the same, and people would say like, well, that's just Pokemon. Okay, and I took Pokemon cards, just Pokemon cards, same time period. This was last year, I believe. Yeah, last year. Average sale price, 27, 292K items sold, and then total amount, 8 million. Look at this. Pokemon cards, same time period today, this last 30 days, way higher average sale price, way more items sold, way higher total amount. So 11.6 compared to 8 million last year. Guys, it's like a 30-40% gain or something. And then this is last year to date, January until November 13th today. We were looking at 214 million. The same time period this year, we're looking at 249 million, and also higher average sales, higher total sales. So that was the kind of the point. And then I also showed this. If you missed it, this is Google Trends showing Pokemon card searches. This is back in Evolutions, Pokemon Go, the game time, when they had a gigantic spike. This is the boom. This is now. So we are still at the highest time ever in Pokemon, like since Evolutions, since Pokemon Go times. Right? This is since 2004. Here's the past 5 years. Okay. Here's the past 5 years. We're still like at some of the highest points in the last 5 years, some of the highest points since 2004. I showed a lot of sales that were happening. I talked about how my sales are still strong. Things are still selling daily, like really strong. I mean, everything we look at numbers wise looks strong. When you look at even the reprints, like the Sword and Shield reprints, even Scarlet Violet era stuff, the prices are low, right? But they're selling. eBay, TCG Player, privates, they're selling daily, multiple boxes, and the singles are selling. The market is strong. The market's trying to find the right way to value each thing in today's market, right? With, obviously the weaker economy. But Pokemon as a whole, there is still tons of money pouring into this hobby daily. And it's only going to get stronger when the economy gets stronger. So anyone trying to push forth the message that like things are weak and the market's, doing terrible and things are falling off and Pokemon's losing its luster and, all these things are going to zero, everything's crashing. Nothing's crashing. I mean, we can look at XY sets, Sun and Moon sets. I mean, they're going, Sun and Moon cards may not be doing well, but here's the thing. Let me share the screen again. We were looking at Cosmic Eclipse, right? Here's the thing. I talked about how the singles are disconnected from the set. Yeah, Cosmic Eclipse singles were falling, but look at the boxes. The boxes are doing just fine, okay? The boxes are here, 11/12, yesterday, just sold, $858. This box was going for $540 a year ago. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, and this goes for tons and tons. I mean, almost all the sets in XY and Sun and Moon and a lot of Sword and Shield. We're seeing them hold their values. We're seeing consistent new sales. We're still seeing rises in price on a lot of them. The market's strong overall. So just try not to buy into the negativity. Yeah, there's some singles falling here and there. Yeah, there's reprints happening, so the sets are falling. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet era, it's taken some time to catch its footing and start to rise in price. But overall, Pokemon's doing just fine, guys. It's going nowhere. Don't let the naysayers get you down. Guys, I'm going to end the stream. If anyone's got any last minute questions, I'll stay for another few minutes. I'll answer any last minute question. Other than that, I think we had a good night. I think we had a good time. I think we got the point across. I'm still going to try and shed a light and keep the positivity brewing in this community. I'm going to still try to keep everyone optimistic because there's just a lot to be optimistic about. It truly is. In a bear market, things still sell. During the crash, volume of sales usually is higher. Okay. All right. Here's the thing. Someone's buying all those sales. There's a buyer for every sale, right? So if there's more, there could be more sales during a bear market, but then there's just as many buyers there to buy them, right? So obviously, at all these prices, people still feel like it's a good pickup. There's always two sides of the coin. I'm not trying to say there's nothing to be negative about or there's no issues going on at all. Like we just saw there's a lot of singles that are dropping in value, right? Things are going stagnant. Some things are less liquid. Some people are having trouble selling certain slabs, whether they're in different niches. I get it. The waifu craze is over. I get it. But There's just as much to find to be positive about than there is negative. Just don't get caught in the negative doomsday club. Celebration GPC is a great pickup right now. Facebook groups, if you don't own one, I definitely, yeah, absolutely. It has fallen a little bit. I think Celebration GPC is in like the 360s to 380s, depending on where you look. It's a great pickup for sure right now. It's called irrationality, not negativity. All right. I already see what side of the coin you're on, man. That's fine. And that's fine. If you are choosing to see, the more of the negative side than the positive side, there's not, I already know, just judging from like talking to you right here, I can already know there is not enough positive. I could show you, 20 booster boxes, all rising in value. I could show you, a bunch of PSA slabs and singles, all that have risen in value in the last 30, 60, 90 days. I can show you all this data. It's not going to be enough. You're going to show me all the negative side, and that's fine. There's positive and negatives, but all I wanted to get across is everything's not negative. If there are parts of the market that are booming and doing well, that means that we're not in a bear market. We're not in a crash, right? We're in a correction on some things, right? But it says nowhere near a crash or a total bear market. That's my only point. Signing off. Hey, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. What's your opinion on investing into collection boxes? I just picked up 6 heavy hitters, premium boxes. I've done a video on those before. Collection boxes, tins, three-pack blisters. They've all done, a lot of them have done well over time. Just depends on, how the packs inside do and also the promos. If they have good promos, they can do well. Nizo, it feels like this is where things should be a problem if people want to double and triple their money fast, and that's not always the case. Yeah, if you want to double and triple your money fast, I suggest buying out large lots in collections. I suggest finding deals in person or on like Facebook groups or Facebook, marketplace. I suggest grading, things like that's how you can double, triple your money quick. Investing, buying, cards, slabs, or sealed product and holding long-term. That's not the way to do it. That's the way to build wealth long-term. Some people are selling at losses. Others are capitalizing. Absolutely. No problem, man. I appreciate you being here. Sub Cabal Goon. Songanda's always in here. Always in there with the Cabal talk. We already had enough of that earlier, man. I tried to squash that. When did you open your last Pokemon box? Well, I just opened multiple on the live stream. I'm going to open more on Thursday. Personally, not long ago. Like, I opened 151 UPC not too long ago, and then me and my wife open stuff time to time, like in the last few weeks. Yeah, I still open stuff, just not a lot. Just like when we want to treat ourselves and like just have a fun time opening some packs, but I don't open it like a lot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the price of every card on the entire market. Like, why would I know the price of Shining Charizard from Hidden Fates? Like, it's such a random. Am I supposed to know every single card? Sorry, I don't. I think I might be a little more into the market than you, to be honest. Because you picked some random card I didn't know. All right. Start a channel, man. Grace us all with all your knowledge. That's all I can tell you. Love Pokemon. Just think we will see more realistic gains now. That's all. Yeah, I agree with that. Guys, let's all sub to Shad's channel. He's the greatest Pokemon collector of all time. He knows the price movement of one card. Oh, man. That's a pretty staple card in the hobby. I mean, I guess, like, is it like, I mean, I think of that era, Burning Shadows Charizard is probably that's probably the bigger hit, right? I mean, shouldn't you know that card more than that? I mean, so Shad, do you know like every single like top hit in every set? Can I just like throw cards out and you'll just know the exact PSA 10 price on the market right now? Do you go through eBay every single week or month and you download every single top hit and all the different sets and Sword and Shield, XY, Sun and Moon, Black and White, and you just know everything off the top of your head? I mean, if so, dude, you're a real one. You congrats. Like I don't. Like I'm not there. I'm not at that level. So sorry I didn't know it. Nick said, what's up, brother? Hope you're having a good night. Absolutely, Nick. Hey, man, we're just ending, but I appreciate you showing up, dude. Have me on your channel. We'll see how much we both know. You mentioned the low pop card. Dude, I'm not. I won't. Okay, first of all, sure, I'll have you on my channel sometime if you want. Second of all, I've never claimed one time to know the most in this whole hobby. I know the most about what I need to know. I don't need to. I don't own any SV49 Charizards. I'm not planning on investing in them because I don't invest in. I really don't invest in slabs. I did make some short term, I guess you could call them investments or plays in some XY and Sun Moon slabs recently. And I do that from time to time, but I don't like, and I've done the same thing with first edition base slabs, but I don't really move into slabs for like long-term, like 5-10 year holds. So it just doesn't make sense for me to know all of those statistics. But yeah, I mean, if you know more than me about hidden fates or other parts of the hobby, great. I'm sure tons of people know more than me about all the mid-era sets. I don't care to know about them, right? I can't believe you don't know every card value off the top of your head, and then that's the only reason I come here. I know. My bad, bro. My bad. Alex knows enough. Most of us don't know much in the hobby. Oh, man. Now we're attacking how much I know. All right, guys. That is it. Thanks for showing up tonight. I hope you all had a good night. That's really the only thing I got to say. Stay positive. Stay happy. Keep enjoying the hobby. Things aren't always as bad as they seem. And, yeah. Be back here with some more videos this week. We are out.